The Moto G5 Plus, why you should buy this one. The Moto G5 Plus takes moderate cell phone configuration to the following level with an assemble quality that all the more intently copies that of a costly leader telephone. Of course, the Moto G4 Plus could be viewed as attractive in its own particular right. It was on par with what we'd expect out of a mid-go telephone moved into a spending handset. In any case, not every person preferred the rubber-treated back when they compare aluminum or glass with top-level quality. The thin earpiece set pattern and unique mark sensor on the front gets from the Moto Z styling. On the off chance that anything, we lean toward the vibe of the sensor on the G5 Plus more on account of its curved outline, which makes it simpler to discover when you're not taking a gander at the telephone. Set to discharge in lunar dark and fine gold shading alternatives, Moto gave us the last for audit. The bezels radiate a shiny look and are supplemented pleasantly by the metallic impact on the trim that encompasses the telephone. We for the most part observed makers deciding on a chamfered edge here, so it's cool to see Moto kicking tradition. From that point, the G5 Plus advances on its once more into delicate, brushed metal that gives a decent measure of hold while dodging regular cell phone plays, similar to their particular marking and pulling in fingerprints. To the extent catches and ports go, the G5 Plus plays host to the typical suspects. On the correct side, you'll discover a volume rocker set over the scored control catch. The nano SIM and micro SD card opening sits on the gadget, while the small-scale USB port and 3.5mm jack involve its base. Performance and specification. Moto's G series has always worked against the idea that a low-price phone can't be thoughtfully constructed or packed full of competent specs, and the baton has been passed on to the G5 Plus. You certainly won't find a Snapdragon 835 inside, but the Snapdragon 625 octa-core SoC is a small, albeit noticeable speed boost over the 617 inside of the Moto G4 Plus. Also improved inside of that package is the Adreno 506 graphics processing unit, GPU, that operates at a higher clock speed than what was found in last year's model. Our review unit has 4GB of RAM inside, so it's the top of the line in Moto's G5 lineup in the US, and anywhere else, for that matter. In fact, that puts it higher than the 3GB of RAM-equipped Moto Z Play if you're just comparing specs. During our time with it, we spent no time waiting on hanging menus, and multitasking with Nougat's split window feature didn't slow this phone down at all. When put through its paces on Geekbench 4, the Moto G5 Plus spit out an average of 3,824 for the multi-core score. Oddly, that's well above the 2,600 score put forward by the Moto Z Play, which aside from the 3GB of RAM, matches this new budget phone completely. We think it's fair to attribute this to inconsistencies in the benchmarking app and/or vast performance improvements from Nougat over Android Marshmallow. One shouldn't place too much confidence in those scores, anyway. Wondering where the Moto mods are? Like you, we were hoping to see them appear on the G series one day. And thankfully, Motorola didn't totally rule out Moto Mod coming to the budget line when we asked at MWC 2017. But seeing as this Moto G5 Plus is similarly spec'd to the Moto Z Play, the lack of modular support is a letdown.